Well, hello everybody. Danny from KJ. I have my guest here today, Eddie. We're going to talk about Shield's Season 4 first episode, Ghost Rider. First of all, I'm sorry about the volume on the background music from the PS4. Trying to lower as much as I can. First of all, Ghost Rider been around since the 1970s. Since 1972, correct?
That's right. Marvel Spotlight number 5 by Mike Plug. Back when Marvel was bringing monsters to comics. So there, at that time, there was Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night, and they all came out in the early 70s. Ghost Rider was very popular in Marvel Spotlight, and then he got his own book, Ghost Rider.
Exactly. One thing I love about Ghost Rider, he had the motorcycle, and over the years, we have seen a change of several different Ghost Riders. And the latest one is Robbie Reyes, and he has an old Charger vehicle, and it's pretty much operates the same way if it was Ghost Rider's driving a motorcycle. It's in a car this time, a Charger. And I don't know if they ever gonna switch him to another vehicle in the near future, but I'm digging Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider, especially last night's Shield episode, first episode, 4th season. What do you think of the episode?
Yeah, I think what they're doing with the car, Marvel's latching on to Fast and Furious fame and switched from motorcycles to cars, and he had some swag and in the car, the cool car and the powers. So it's a good first episode.
Yeah. Do you want to expect to have Ghost Rider in Shield? The first 2 seasons, they were a bit slow, especially the first season, the first couple episodes, 1 through 5, 1 through 7, they were a bit slow, but right after first season, second season just picked up, and you didn't expect them to have like a major Marvel character, especially not just Ghost Rider, the latest version of Ghost Rider. I thought it'd be like next, John Blaze, or Danny catches, or the other type of Ghost Rider that was out there in the past, comic books. But they just went along and said, look, we're going to throw in Robbie Reyes. Hopefully, our audience like this. And plus, talk about the CGI and the money they're putting into the show. Especially they changed the time slot to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 10 p.m. slot?
Well, I think it probably made it later because there'll probably be more violence, a little bit more adult visuals. So that might be why. And as far as picking Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider had exposure worldwide in 2 movies. So and I don't know of a plan to bring Ghost Rider out in another movie. So why not bring him to TV? He's known. He's been in movies worldwide. Characters known, and I think they're just making good use of their property.
Yeah, the Ghost Rider character has been around for so long. Like I said, once again, it's a famous character in Shield first episode. I like how they start off in the beginning. They wasted no time bringing in Ghost Rider. At the beginning of the episode, he was there, the middle, and meeting Quake or Daisy, whatever you guys want to call her now.
Mm-hmm.
They fought, and I was like, okay. And toward the end, it was like, okay. They didn't have it slaughtered, but it was a good fight for first episode of 4th season. How do you like the beginning, the end, and the middle of it?
I think they kept it moving. They didn't have a period where that was boring. They kept it moving. They kept the storylines moving. There's a couple storylines there too, and they're interesting. And there's more action. I think there's more action so far in this season compared to prior seasons.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of action. Probably doesn't enjoy it. They move it to 10 p.m. And yes, once again, adult content, more violence. It's Ghost Rider. It's going to be dark no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Very dark. Yeah. And I heard rumors once upon a time when they were talking about bringing the Punisher TV solo show on Netflix. They wanted to bring out characters like Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, some others out there. It's pretty dark, and from there, once they're from establishing Punisher, they will actually have to come out with their own solo episodes. Shows like how you saw Punisher in Daredevil's second season. And like once again, Luke Cage was presented in Jessica Jones. Did not expect him to be early in the season, but yeah, they threw him right in. And now, by end of this month, we're gonna have Luke Cage on Netflix, his own show.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Marvel's doing a great job on Netflix, and they're bringing in. I like that they're bringing in characters that haven't been on TV before, and they're taking their time to develop those characters so that the audience that don't know the characters from the comics can get to know them on TV.
Exactly. And another thing, reason why I think they picked Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider is that Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider, first couple comics was selling, and then it dropped in sales the last couple comic books. So just before they did the whole Secret Wars 2015, they basically was like, all right, we're gonna do this one section with all the Ghost Riders, and from after that series, there's no Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider in the comic book right now at this moment in Marvel comic books franchise like this. So they're bringing him in Shield. They're gonna gain more audience, gonna get more fans. And then I have a feeling, we're going to have another series of Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider. So that's actually a great marketing.
It is. I mean, once the series, once the television fans know Robbie Ray is more, then they'll probably sell more comics if they tell good stories. You're going to have to tell good stories. I mean, once you get to know the characters from TV, they'll make you buy the comic once. But then once you buy it, you have to have a good story to go buy it again.
Yeah.
But it's a nice linkage, get to know the character on TV, and you want to know more about him more, start buying the comics.
Yeah, I mean, I already know they have a graphic novel. Sorry. Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider graphic novel out there, probably issues 1 through 8, I think they have. And then, we have S.H.I.E.L.D. That's just another big group. And speaking of S.H.I.E.L.D., you guys know, like, Nick Fury is pretty much one of the co-founders of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is that true?
Well, no, what happened, all right, going back to the 60s, Strange Tales 135, S.H.I.E.L.D. was in existence. It was. Okay. And they brought in Nick Fury to be the director. So that goes way back, like 1965, Strange Tales issue 135. Beautiful Jack Kirby cover and artwork, and again, the story goes, he was brought in to be the director, and
Jack Kirby.
The Nick Fury was brought into Nick Fury was brought into S.H.I.E.L.D. to be the director.
Oh, okay.
And he established at the time James Bond was the first James Bond, Sean Connery, and those movies. They weren't that old. I mean, the comic is 1965, and James Bond started like 1962, and they're extremely popular movies. And Stan Lee was genius to see the potential to have comics in that genre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked.
Kinda like
Spies and gadgets and girls.
Yeah.
Spies, gadgets, girls. It was nice. It worked for James Bond in the movies, and it worked in the comics too.
Exactly. Pretty much, Nick Fury, that eye patch seems to get a lot of attention. It was Nick Fury started with like the Howling Commandos. Was that a separate group from S.H.I.E.L.D., or were they part of S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time?
No, I mean they were World War II stories. So you had stories going on at Marvel. The Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos were World War II era stories, and the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. stories were 1960s stories. So there was a time gap there.
Oh, okay.
But the comics were on the stands at the same time. But, they were telling stories from different times.
Oh, okay. Do you have? I know you brought some comics.
Yeah. So this this one's probably a good one to show. This is Strange Tales 155, a 1960s comic. It has, let's see.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You know, it has a very cinematic look. Like we had mentioned about the James Bond movies, you know, you always see James Bond in a climactic scene. There'll be Thrush or whoever the enemy organization was in the movie. They're everywhere. Bullets will be flying. There'll be this wide screen at the movies, and you'd see bodies flying, bullets flying, all kinds of gadgets, and you know, secret hideouts. And they did the same. They basically have a cinematic comic book. If you read those issues, a lot of 2-page spreads, so you could see, you know, so much going on in the battle.
Oh, okay.
In the battle. And Jim Steranko was the artist there. I mean, you couldn't have picked a better artist for that character than Jim Steranko.
Nice. Was there any other comic books you would refer to our audience besides that one comic book you have in mind?
That's my favorite. Again, I'm a fan of Stan Lee and Jim Steranko. Steranko gave the character his original. He actually put the personality in the character. So you know, the character's got a lot of swag. He's a good leader. He's always physically fit. He's a good fighter. Even though he's the leader at the top, he gets down and dirty into the battle. And you know, sexy ladies, gadgets, guns. Wow. Gotta check it out.
I wish I had read those Nick Fury comic books back in those days.
Yeah, they reprint them. I mean, you get Masterworks, and actually IDW publishes a Jim Steranko edition, the artist, and you could see the original art from these comics, which would be black and white.
Oh, okay.
But you know, it'd be good you could read about how the character is created, and you could enjoy the original art.
Wow.
And then go to your comic store and look at the back issue box to find the old issues.
Wow. Dang, Nick Fury he was the James Bond of Marvel, from what you're telling me.
He was. He just was a little bit more rougher around the edges. He wasn't a wine guy. He was a beer guy.
True. Have you ever watched it was a very old Nick Fury movie. Well, not very old, but it was like mid-90s.
That's Hasselhoff.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you think of that?
Well, it's kind of over the top. I mean, for that time, for the 90s, it was okay. You know?
Okay.
The 90s, it's hard to compare the movies today with then because, I mean, special effects are so great now. They make the movies more believable.
They do.
You could really get absorbed by the movie and feel it's somewhat, you know, believable.
Man, those. Even I watched some of the old, like mid-90s or early 90s Marvel movies that came out. Like a lot of people don't know. Like I seen the Captain America, I seen the Punisher. There was even like, was it Amazing Spider-Man TV series, a movie that was way back. Like I think it was in the 80s, and I was like, wow. I'm like, when are we ever gonna? And then in 2000, we started having more and more Marvel movies. I mean, I can't ignore 90s Marvel movies, especially when Blade came out. Wesley Snipes portrayed Blade, and I was like, wow, this is the verge of Marvel getting back on top of the movie business. And look where they at now. I mean, in 2 years, we're gonna have Infinity War, and I'm really hyped for that one.
Right. Yeah, and two Avengers movies back-to-back years. And I mean, Marvel does a great job. They stay true to the source material. They know how to bring a movie character from a comic book to a movie and make them look interesting, but not change them too much that you wouldn't, you know, you can't connect with them.
Right. Let's say for next month, no, in 2 months, Doctor Strange, and I'm ready for that movie. It looks promising. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's another classic Marvel character. You know, Steve Ditko. Go look at the old issues. Steve Ditko did a super job. I can't imagine another artist having created Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, the trailers look great. But
Yeah.
but I mean, they got to tell the story. If they tell the story well, and they don't get too far away from the source material, I think the movie will be fine.
Well, for those who have any more questions in their future about Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, what we just discussed, you can always drop a comment and let us know what you think. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Cool.